Hello.
Oh,
Hi, how
how
you
you
doing?
doing? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Where are you calling us from today?
I'm in London right now. I'm in the studio making some tunes.
Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know already, if you just tell us a little bit about yourself and sort of where you're from and that.
Sure. My name's Fraser, and I'm an artist from Scotland. I'm from a place called Bathgate, which is this like small town in Scotland. Not a lot going on. I started posting covers on Instagram in about 2014, and I was doing gigs and stuff. When I was like 12, just doing like covers and that kind of thing. And I started to grow a bit of a following online from that. And then I went to college. I left school when I was like 15, 16, went to college for a year. And then I started my own social media company whilst I was in college.
Mm.
And I started using the money that I was making from that to come to London, and I started getting in with producers and networking and all that kind of stuff. And then it just kind of that's kind of condensed in a
Yeah.
nutshell. It was a lot of like years of like trying to figure it out, but then I got into the industry finally, and I just kept rolling with it, writing new stuff, and it's been good to release my first project.
Yeah, and we've been loving the new EP. What I thought we could do today is sort of like a track by track. So on the show, what I'll do is I'll play each track from the EP and just really have a little chat about each of the songs. Does that sound good?
Oh, sounds good.
Okay, so the first one, Vipers. If you tell us a little bit about how that one came about.
So that one was written in January of 2020, just before
Mm.
the world
Yeah.
erupted. And it was actually one of the last songs written for the EP. It might have actually been the last song that was written, and then it was the first one released. Um, and that track, basically, I was just so like annoyed this one week, and
Mm.
I just I've been meeting all these like label people and publishers and stuff, and everyone was super nice and was like, "Oh, we like this project, blah blah blah." And
Mm.
I think that was kind of the issue.
Yeah.
I didn't really know who to trust,
Mm.
and I was getting super frustrated because I knew where I wanted my career to go next and where I wanted my music to go next,
Mm.
but I didn't know at this point who the right person was for that or the right team. I wanted to make sure that I was making the like right next steps
Yeah.
in my career, and that was a super like weird and frustrating time. So Vipers is kind of about, I think it's more general than that. It's more about just taking the time to think everything through fully
Mm.
and make sure that you're doing stuff that feels right for you, um, and trying to make like the best decisions that you can for, I guess, your life and your career.
And am I right that Vipers is on FIFA?
Yes,
Yeah.
which is mad.
What was that like finding out that you've got the
That
FIFA
was crazy
soundtrack?
actually. I remember my A&R at my label had messaged me saying we've got a sync of some sort,
Mm.
but she wouldn't tell me what it was. She only said it was and then I was like, "Is it a movie or a TV show?" And she was like, "Nah." And I was like, "So it must be like a video game then." So then I texted my mate and I was like, "Haha, imagine it's FIFA. That would be crazy." Not knowing, it was not expecting FIFA at all. And then I get a text and they're like, "It's FIFA," and I was like, "What?" I was like texting all my friends like, "You're not gonna believe I'm on FIFA."
That must be the dream. Especially like was that your first single that you released as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which was a pretty crazy run for a first single. But I think I just love the fact that the FIFA soundtrack is such a like it's a part of the culture of the game.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
like obviously the game is the game, but then the soundtrack is such an important part that the fans of FIFA really
Mm.
invest in, which I like a lot.
And the next track, Face Tattoo, I think this is my favourite one at the moment.
Really,
Yeah, I've
thank
been
you.
listening to the EP quite a lot, and every week I'm like, I think this is my favourite one, and then I'm like, oh no, this
Amazing.
is my favourite one. But yeah, this is my favourite at the moment. So if you give us a little bit about Face Tattoo, then.
Yeah, so Face Tattoo was one of the first ones written for the EP
Mm.
actually. and I went into the studio session, and I was working with these new producers, and I had I had the lyric, "They might just fuck around and get a face tattoo," in the notes on my phone for months before. And I was like, I really want to write a song with this lyric because I really like what it says, but I don't know what the song is. And then I just went into the session and started playing around on the guitar and stuff and managed to figure it out. And I guess this track is just about, it's just about sort of like, how do I put it into like the best words? So I was kind of getting to the end of my patience a bit, and I was getting frustrated because I'd been doing, since I was like, I guess 15, I'd been working with different managers and stuff in music, and people tell me how my music should sound or where my music should go, and then me having to try and figure out myself where I think it should go. And I was kind of just at the end of my patience, and I was like, do you know what? Like, fuck this. I'm just going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to make the music that I want to make, and I'm not going to let other people's opinions influence that, because I tend to, I mean, I think everyone does, like, you take opinions on no matter what the opinion is, and I think I'm trying to get better at not doing that if it's not necessary. If it's an opinion that I feel isn't productive for the final product, then I'm trying to focus on kind of just not listening. But yeah, that's kind of what Face Tattoo is about.
And you said there, so you had like the one lyric to start off with, and you just knew you wanted to do something with that. Is that how a lot of your songs kind of start then, with one little like hook or like guitar bit?
Yeah, I mean, concepts are super important for me when it comes to writing. I think for me, once I have a good concept, the song comes really fast. It's getting that good concept that's the hard bit. Or so mostly it'll be, I'll have this idea of what I want to write about, or I'll have this lyric, and I really like taking stuff like a face tattoo or a Gucci sweater and turning it into more of like a metaphorical phrase. I really enjoy kind of twisting stuff like that. But yeah, it usually just starts with a lyric. I think mainly, especially now on all the newer stuff that I'm making, it's always a lyric. Once I have that one lyric where I'm like, I really like this, I can kind of flow off that and create the rest of it.
And so the next track, we've got The Storm title track. If I was like, go and listen to one of his songs and then you'll be like a fan, this is the one I would go for. What have you got?
Yeah, so I think for me, The Storm is like the track that really defines the full project. Obviously, that's why I titled the project Storm. But I think for me, that track is about, it's kind of just a message to say, like, life is a bit shit sometimes, and not everything's going to be great, and you're going to have moments of being. I definitely suffer from depression and anxiety sometimes, and I think everyone does at some point in their life. And that track is just the kind of being like, you need to just weather the storm. Like, you're going to have these crazy moments. You're going to have amazing moments as well, and happy ones, but you're also going to have sad ones. And I think it's just about being able to stay strong within yourself when you're going through those stages, and being like, this is just temporary, and the storm will pass. And I think the whole EP, the reason I called it The Storm is because I like to think of the storm as my headspace. And every moment up until my life right now is kind of what the storm is. And you obviously have your crazy moments, you have the amazing moments, you have the shit ones. And I kind of like to view that as a storm. You have the crazy thunder part and the lightning, but then you have like the rainbow, or you have like the calm after the storm, you know. So I like that kind of metaphor of the storm being my headspace.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it, especially it's very sort of concise as like a project. It all sort of like fits together really nicely, and I like how sort of the order of the tracks as well. It sort of takes you on like a little journey throughout the EP.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed. It wasn't really intentional, but it does feel like a storm as well. Like, you have more of the the high energy tracks like Vipers and The Storm, but then you have some of the more chill ones like Gucci Sweater and Face Tattoo and Losing Sleep, and it feels like it takes you through that kind of storm, which I really like.
And on to the next track. So we've got I Do These Things For Me. What's that one about?
So this one's similar to, I guess it's similar to Face Tattoo in a bit, but it's kind of just a message. Like it's a message for me saying, it's kind of me breaking down the whole social media thing, which I've done in a couple tracks.
Yeah.
And I feel like we as a society just tend to post like whatever, like what you're having for breakfast, what you're having for lunch, like all this kind of stuff that like serves no purpose, and it's not, and like, but are we truly doing that for ourselves, or are we doing that for the validation of other people? Do you know what I mean? Like, do we want to post our breakfast, or do we want people to see our breakfast? Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like that, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, post what you want, but make sure you're getting some validation out of what you're posting. Like, make sure you're posting that photo because you like that photo and you like that how you look in that photo, not because you want that validation from other people. So that's kind of what that track is about. It's just staying true to yourself and doing things that bring you happiness, not what you think other people want to see.
Do you ever find yourself falling into the trap then? Have you ever posted a breakfast?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still post some stuff on my story and I'm like, wow, that was so dumb. I really post that. So I'm still a culprit of this. I'm definitely not perfect. I kind of like to deconstruct those things, and all the stuff I write about, it's never like a dig at anyone or like or society really, because I do it as well. It's kind of a dig at myself at the same time, and me talking to myself. So yeah.
And then we've got Intentions. This is I've been loving this one so much. I think this has been, apart from Face Tattoo, the one I've had like on repeat at the moment. It's just so catchy. So, you know, where did that one come from?
Yeah, so this is again one of the first ones that was written. And it's kind of different sonic from the rest of the EP, but still has like elements of more distorted, darker stuff within it. And I went into this session, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to write, and then I saw like this quote, I can't remember what it was, but and then the lyric like, I'd rather be broke with a good heart than rich with your bad intentions, kind of came, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this, you know. And that again was kind of about me coming into the music industry, and I didn't just want to do something. I never want to do anything for money or do anything for profit or that kind of gain. It's not really what I'm about. And I think sometimes people use that as like a way to lure people in, almost. And at the end of the day, you can have a bunch of money, but if the intentions aren't good, like it's not going to work, you know? I think you have to have good intentions going into everything, and everyone has to have good intentions. Me, anyone else I'm working with, otherwise it's not going to work. So it was kind of me just breaking that down and being like, I need to make the next best step. I need to make sure that if we're going to do this, like, we all have everyone's best intentions at heart, you know?
Yeah. And how important do you think that having the good team is? Like, have you had the same team throughout all the music that you've released so far, or have you been working with different people throughout that?
Yeah, so I have the same team for this full project and continuing on. And I think for any artists, it's so important because you're working with these people every day, and these people become your friends and your family, and you need to be on the same page, and they need to understand you, and it's just crucial, especially for your mental health, that you have a good support system within your team as well, and people that you can talk to. And also, you need a team where you can have an open conversation. No one's going to be offended. No one's going to be. Everyone wants the best for the project at the end of the day. So it's not like if you don't like someone's idea, like you tell them you don't like their idea, and it's not like no one's butthurt, no one's. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's trying to get the best product at the end of the day. So, yeah, I think having your team that you really love and like believe in is so crucial in this industry. Without it, it would be super tough for sure.
And the next track, Gucci Sweater, sorry, it's the latest single. Why did you choose this one to be the next single?
So I kind of going back to the EP and how I view it as a storm, and I kind of think that the tracks transcend through that. Losing Sleep felt like that in between like a more chill song, but still with like the bigger ending and stuff. And I feel like that was starting to come to the calm of after the storm. So I felt that Gucci was like the absolute calm after the storm. But that's the reason that I chose to release that one last.
Do you have a Gucci sweater?
I do not. And I've seen a few comments of people being like, "Oh, he's singing about only rich people can relate to this," and I'm like, "No, you've got the concept so wrong. Like that's not what it's about. It's the complete opposite." So this track's basically about materialism and how in today's society we tend to idolize like luxury or wealth as if it somehow makes us better or happier than other people, which just isn't true. And I think it's about being able to separate real emotions from like physical items. And it's not me saying don't buy stuff. Everyone likes buying themselves nice stuff, whatever that is. Like I enjoy doing it. And it's not a hate against Gucci. I like Gucci. I don't own anything Gucci, but I do like what they do. And I love fashion and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of about just that's temporary happiness and these objects. I think anyone can notice it. You get a new pair of shoes that you like, and the novelty's great for like a day or two, and then you're like, oh, these are just a pair of shoes that I own now. And it's temporary happiness, and I think you can't buy the real thing. So I think it's just about realizing that. And I'm still learning that because comfort buying is definitely real, and I do it, everyone does it, and it does make you feel better, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think sometimes you need to look at the underlying, like what you actually want happiness from or seek happiness from, because I think sometimes you can fall into the trap of just it being a constant cycle of I need that next thing to give me that tiny burst of happiness for a couple of days. So yeah, that's what Gucci's about.
I think like sonically as well, it's quite a bit different from the other tracks. It's very like sort of acoustic driven. Was that like, do all of your songs kind of start off with that like acoustic bass, or did you end up sort of toning Gucci down a bit more than the other songs?
Yeah, so the songs usually, majority of them start on a guitar, if not all of them, maybe a piano sometimes. And for Gucci Sweater, we'd been in the studio all week, and it was getting to the end of the studio days. And I was like to my producer, Jonah, I was like, you know, I just want to do like a folk song.
Yeah.
A folkish song. I was listening to loads of like Phoebe Bridgers, Elliott Smith, Bon Iver, like all those kind of artists. And I was like, I just love this, and I love folk music. And I just wanted to do something more stripped back and simple, but I didn't want to just do an acoustic guitar song. So then I tried to bring in some more like electronic, vocoder-ish moments towards the end, and then the drums at the end, just to have a kind of final part of the EP, I suppose. But I do like how that track is very like sparse throughout, and then you get that payoff towards the end.
And then, so we've got Losing Sleep. This is like the finale of the EP. Why did you choose this song to be at the end?
Yeah, so I chose this to be on the end of the track list because I just felt like it just had this like nostalgic, anthemic kind of feel to it. And I know I'm a sucker for those kind of songs. And I
Yeah.
just felt that the ending needed to have this like big, beautiful ending, and I felt that Losing Sleep was like the perfect track for that. And that song just also holds like a place on my heart, and I think it's had a good response from other people as well, which is super nice to hear, because I think it's pretty relatable in the terms of that when you're young and naive, the world seems like this perfect, amazing place. You're so optimistic, everything's great. And then you grow up, and I feel like you lose a bit of that. Well, I definitely did lose a bit of that because
Yeah.
real life kicks in and it's not as polished and amazing as it's sometimes made out to be. And I struggled with that a little bit, and it was just kind of me reminiscing on childhood and how easy or how like optimistic I was back then and hopeful. And I still am, but I'm definitely quite a pessimist, to be honest, now that I'm older. And yeah, I don't know, there's just something about that track that I really love. And I always go back to it. It might be my favourite of the whole project, actually.
I was just going to ask you that. Did you have a favourite song on there?
It changes all the
Yeah.
time. I think my two favourites, though, from an artistic perspective,
Yeah.
would be Vipers and Losing Sleep.
Mm.
They're my two favourites. I love them all, though, and my favourite changes all the time. But I'm super excited to keep releasing, and my second project will be coming soon, and I just feel like it's a level up. The next one, and it's my favorite songs I've ever worked on. So I'm super excited to start showing everyone what I've been up to.
Do you think that the sound of the upcoming project, is it quite similar to what we've heard already, or is it evolving a bit?
It's evolving for sure. There's some stuff that you probably haven't heard yet, and it's got elements of the first EP, but in a different way.
Yeah.
It's pretty different, but it doesn't feel like miles. It doesn't feel miles apart, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I can't wait to share it.
And who would you say's had the most influence over the music you make?
Oh, it's difficult because I listen to so much music,
Yeah.
and I love so many genres and all that kind of stuff. But I think the artists that I tend to always go back to are people like Radiohead. And I obviously I love Tom York's own project that he does as well. I love Lord. I always seem to go back to Melodrama for some reason. I think it's an incredible album. And Kanye West as well. I just love how experimental some of his stuff is and how risky it is. And I don't know, I just love the production and all the people that are involved in that project. So I think that's my main three. There's definitely like thousands more, but I think that's the ones that I tend to always go back to. I don't know why. I'm drawn to their music.
As for like playing live and stuff, obviously you haven't been able to do like gigs at the moment. Have you done these songs in a live setting before, like to an audience?
I haven't, which is what I really want to do.
Yeah.
I'm actually the reason I'm in London for studio sessions right now.
Yeah.
I've also got some rehearsals because I'm setting up like my band and stuff for live shows. So I'm hoping with these new announcements where they're saying June might be the one.
Yeah.
Then I'm hoping that I can get. I really want to get out and play ASAP once it's safe, because it's just I feel like I'm missing that experience a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what for me as an artist brings me joy, is like playing to a room of people who also like what you do. And it just feels amazing. So yeah, I can't wait to get out and play these live.
What sort of response have you had then so far from the EP? Have you had like a lot of new fans like sort of coming onto your music?
Yeah, I mean, it's been mad. Like, there's been a lot of new people becoming part of this project, I guess. And I've got a WhatsApp group with like a bunch of followers, and we just talk a bunch of random stuff, and I share behind the scenes and all that kind of thing. And I just love connecting with other people because I feel like we all have a mutual understanding.
Yeah.
For some reason, like when I'm speaking to people in that WhatsApp group, we're very similar as people, which is what I like. I think you do kind of draw people who are have similar views, who think the same as you. So yeah, it's been crazy, and just all the support from like you guys at radio, from like press, from just the general public, and obviously the FIFA thing was insane. It's just been a super enjoyable experience to actually get it out into the world. And I can't wait to see what like the reaction is to the new music. I'm super intrigued.
So what have we got planned for the rest of this year then?
So, new music is coming very soon. So I think I'll be rolling with that. I don't know I've got so much to do before that even comes out, but it's going to be coming out pretty soon. So I think I'll just be releasing a bunch of new music, hopefully doing some cool stuff, hopefully playing live if and when. If not, I'm sure I'll do some sort of live stream at some point. Just to have some form of live.
Yeah.
And then I don't really know, to be honest. I'm just kind of taking each day as it comes and seeing what opportunities arise and what comes from that. But I think the main thing is, yeah, new music all year basically.
And aside from your music and stuff, have you picked up any like hobbies or little skills and that in the past year, just keeping yourself occupied?
Oh, I don't think I don't think many new hobbies, but I've definitely went back to like drawing and painting, which I loved a lot
Yeah.
when I was younger. So I've been doing a bunch of that. Um, I'm trying to get better at guitar, and what else have I been doing? That's about it. Honestly, I've just been sitting bored. No, not bored, but I've been obviously in lockdown. It's like there's only so much you can do,
Yeah.
and it's a bit demotivating some things. But yeah, I think I've went back to some of my old habits. I'm trying to get back into photography again because I loved that when I was younger as well. So I think I'm reigniting like old flames.
Yeah. So you've got like sort of drawing, photography, and I love all the artwork and the visuals that you've got like going along with the
Thank you.
singles and stuff. Is that you behind that, or do you have some sort of like input, you know?
Yeah, I mean, my visuals are always like pretty much fully me.
Yeah.
I have all these ideas in my head, and then I work with Daisy King, who's this insane designer, and she helps bring my ideas to life, and she does a great job each time. And we kind of just go back and forth until we feel that it's perfect. And I really wanted this first project to have like these kind of very futuristic landscapes almost. And then Gucci Sweater I guess Gucci Sweater is transitioning more into the kind of like fine art
Yeah.
stuff and weirder stuff, which I think you'll see a lot more of that from me like in the future, because I love all that kind of stuff, and we're about to start creating the visuals for the second project, so I can't wait to just grow and evolve with everything that we've been doing. But I think the visuals will be quite different from the first project.
And I've got a couple questions in from some of the listeners.
Amazing.
So I've got one from Ben. He asks, who would your top 3 Dream Festival headliners be?
Oh, my top 3 would have to be. Oh, that's such a hard one. So many people. I think my top three would be Radiohead for sure.
Mm.
I'd love to see Lord live, and I'd love to see Bon Iver.
Oh yeah, that's
I
a
think,
strong lineup.
yeah, I think that show would be pretty epic.
Mm. And what festival? Have you got a favourite festival?
Oh, my favorite festival I've never been to. I think Glastonbury just has this magical
Yeah.
feel around it, so I really want to go there and just hang out.
Mm. Have you played any festivals yet?
I've not. I've played
Ooh.
some local ones when I was
Yeah.
younger. I've not played any of this new music, so I'm hoping to get out to some. I guess festivals will probably be next year, maybe later this year.
Mm.
So yeah, hopefully I can get out to do some bits.
Mm. And I've got one from Lucy. She says, do you have any tips for overcoming stage fright?
We all have it.
Mm.
I have it. Everyone has it. I think it's about you just it's difficult, but you kind of just have to do it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, you have to kind of just forget that there's people there, and realize that the people, for the most part, the people that are coming to see a live show are music lovers.
Mm.
And you're playing to people who enjoy discovering new music for the most part. So I think you need to remember that people are there to see music. It's not like a bunch of random people that are going to be super judgy, you know, or at least I hope not. And I think it's just about being confident in the music that you're playing and the music that you've written or whatever it is you're playing. Being confident that you know what you're doing in that and that you're happy within yourself with what you're playing, and that should hopefully resonate to everyone else in the room. So I think it's just about kind of having confidence in yourself and your own performance, and then the rest will follow. But I mean, nerves are normal. We all get them. I think even the biggest artists in the world still get them before. It's normal. Like, you're a human being and you're playing in front of a bunch of strangers. Like, that is always going to be scary. So I just wouldn't be too hard on yourself with it either. It's totally normal.
And Lizzie says, what's your favourite thing about Bathgate?
Oh, my favorite thing about Bathgate. That's a good question. Obviously, my family being there is one of my favorite things. I also I love the local music scene and how people really get behind, like people who love music in Bathgate really get behind the up and coming artists from there. And there's like gig opportunities at local venues and bars and stuff. And there's a nice little artist circle which is definitely formed. So I really love that about it as well. As there's a bunch of like music creatives trying to do it as well.
Okay, I've got a little bit of a quick fire round for you now.
Cool.
So what was your first gig?
My first gig was my Skill Talent show when I was like 10.
How did that go down?
Well, I thought I'd killed it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. I don't know how good it was, to be honest. It's probably really bad. I can't even remember what I sang. It was some random song. But yeah, I thought it was great.
What was the first album that you bought?
Oh, the first album that I bought. I have no idea.
What was the last album that you bought then? That one might be easier.
The last album that I bought was Songs by Adrian Lenker.
What sort of music is that? I haven't heard of him.
She makes like it's like folk. It's
Okay.
the whole album is basically acoustic, but it's done in such a beautiful way that it feels way bigger than just acoustic for some reason. And her lyrics and her tone and her voice, you should definitely check out. It's like my favorite album of the last year, probably.
Oh, great. I'll go and have a listen to her then. What's your most played song at the moment?
Five Pose.
And what is the first song that you learnt to play?
New Shoes by Paolo Nutini.
Oh, that's a good one. That was that on guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to do it, you know, Scottish.
Are there any artists that you want to give a shout out to?
Artists that I'm loving right now. Wait, let me get my playlist up because there's a few. There is. I want to give a shout out to this girl called Creams. She's from the country Georgia, not the place in America. And she makes this like dark electronic music, and I just think it's insanely good. So I want to give a shout out to her. I want to give a shout out to Remy Wolf, who I've been loving recently. I think her music's just super fun, and I love everything she's doing. And then recently I've been loving this guy called Briston Maroney.
Oh yeah. Love
Yeah,
Briston.
I think his music is so good. So yeah, I think that's the three artists that I really am enjoying right now.
And do you have a favourite song lyric? This can be one that you've written or from someone else's song.
Favorite song lyric? I think my favorite song lyric from the EP is probably, oh, I wish I could go back to those days where I was losing teeth instead of losing sleep. I think that's my favorite one.
Have you ever been starstruck?
I've not met famous people really. I've met a couple, but I don't think I've been starstruck yet. I met Imogen Heap not long ago, and I was like, wow, you're Imogen Heap and you're sitting right in front of me. This is crazy. So I think that's maybe the closest I've been to it. She's I like respect her immensely for all the music and the way that she's like pioneered modern music. But I'm yet to be like speechless.
Is there anything that you think you would be speechless about meeting?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm the person that gets starstruck. Like, maybe I will internally.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't show it. Do you know what I mean? I would just like tell about it. Like I would just be normal. So I don't know who I would be like completely starstruck by. I really want to meet Jack Antonoff and just like pick his brain on everything that he's done because he's like one of my favorites. I don't know. I don't think I'm definitely more of a low key person. I would either like I would either go up to them and say hi, or I would completely shit out of it and just not at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who would your dream collaboration be with?
I think my dream collab would be Lord for sure.
I do hear the sort of like the little nods to Lord, like in your music a bit, and I think that would be a good one.
Yeah, I'd love to just, even if we didn't make a song, I'd love to just speak with her.
Yeah.
And learn her process of like how she does it, because I think it's great.
And who would you most like to support?
Ooh. Who would I like to support the most? That's a good question. I mean, it's got to be Lord. I think it'd be super good it would be super fun to support her. I think her live show looks great as well.
Have you ever seen her live?
I've seen videos, but I've never seen it in person.
What do you order from Greg's?
I get sausage, cheese and bean melt.
Oh, that's a classic. What about, do you ever venture to the desserts?
Right, so I'm a bit weird. I don't like cake or biscuits or anything like that. So, which is, I know it's weird. But, so I tend to just go straight for like a Lucozade and like sausage, cheese and bean melt. I used to be a chicken pasty kind of guy, but not anymore.
I felt that's quite adventurous to Greg's. I normally stick to sausage roll, or if I'm like pushing the boat out, I might go for a pizza. That's about as
I've never had
adventurous
the
as I
Greg's
do.
pizza. I need to try it.
I think
Um,
they're quite good. They hit differently. There's just something about a Greg's pizza when you're hungry.
you need to do the sausage, cheese, and bean melt. It's unreal.
And would you like to request a song for me to play on the show?
Yes, wait, let me pull my playlist up. Can you play? So this song I discovered today, because it's brand new. It's "The Last Man on Earth" by Wolf Alice.
Oh yeah, of course, I'll get that on for you.
I love it. I discovered it a few hours ago because I saw it on New Music Friday, and it's just insane.
And finally, do you want to do a little plug if people want to hear some more from you and your music? Where can they find you?
Of course, you can find me on Instagram at Dylan Fraser Music, which is it, and then just Dylan Fraser and everything else.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for coming on and talking to me.
No worries. Thank you for having me. It's been good.
That's all right, no worries. And what are you gonna go and do now? Is it recorded?
I've got a day off today, and it's pretty nice outside, so I think I might go for a walk, and just chill out and take it all in, you know.
Yeah. Okay, thanks very much for coming on.
Cheers.
Then. Right.
Have a good one. See you
You
later.
too. Speak to you later.
Bye.
Bye.